channel, Frankie Scott Home Comfort. Today's Comfort Cuisine, we're going to be making a quick, economical chicken Alfredo. Chicken Alfredo is really delicious. You can also make your chicken Alfredo from scratch, but we are going to be doing it the quick way. So yes, don't come for me. I know we can make it from scratch. I love making it from scratch, but guess what? It's sleeting and icy outside, so we're going to get to it. So we have our Tyson grilled chicken breast strip. We have some Bertolli Alfredo sauce, some fresh mushrooms that I've already cleaned, and some seasoning, some fresh parsley that I've already washed, some garlic, some salt and pepper. Just be careful with the salt because some of the pre-cooked foods like the chicken and the sauce are already salty. I have a pot of hot water boiling. It is salty as the sea, so the noodles will have flavor, and I have a pan already with some olive oil in it. So first, again, we are going to get started on this prepping our vegetables. Again, you can tell when your parsley is fresh. I've washed it, I've dried it. It just kind of stands up on itself. Doesn't have any grit on it after being washed, but if it's limpy, you know it's not fresh, but just the same, it still has great flavor. So don't throw away some of your herbs because they are very fragile. So don't throw them away. We're going to put that to the side, and we are going to let's talk about this actual fettuccine. So I bought the store brand. Again, buying the store brand for certain items, it saves you money. You can't really tell the difference. You're going to cook it al dente. It doesn't matter anyway. Again, our mushrooms. So I just took the caps off of the stems, and you can see where I've just taken a moist paper towel and wiped them down. Don't really let this soak my mushrooms. They are all ready to go. Have a little segue of a little piece of parsley there. And again, with this Bertolli sauce, just please be careful with any pre-made sauce. It can be already salty. Let's get to it. We're going to just crush up our garlic here. Excuse my hands. I've been cracking all day, so my hands are a little fatigued. So just kind of smash it. If you have a garlic press, that works great as well. But we're just going to do a rough chop. It's going to be sauteed and cooked down in the sauce. So it doesn't have to be perfect because, again, we are trying to make a quick, delicious meal. We'll have plenty of time for those days where we just really want to get into it and be super precise and super fancy, and, you know, money's no object. But right now, there's 1,000 things going on, so I just got to be mindful of my time, and I still want something that's delicious. So, again, I'm just going to try to cut the ends off of this. Gonna give it a rough chop. And sometimes, you guys, when you're cutting your garlic, what are some of your methods for how the garlic stains your boards and they still have that smell of your fingers? Sometimes just take some fresh lemon juice and just kind of stir my board down, and you can wash my hands with it after I wash my hands with soap and water, just to kind of neutralize that garlic scent. Let me know what you do to kind of deodify your cooking utensils when you've been cooking a lot of garlic, and even your hands and stuff, because a lot of the regular soaps, they clean, but they don't take the odor of your fingers. Let me know. Okay, kind of switched it to view for you so you can see a little bit more. So yes, one rough chop on this garlic. Again, I love garlic. There's so many medical studies that talk about the medicinal properties of fresh garlic. It's an awesome seasoning. If you have no other way of seasoning your food, garlic is the way to go. Some people don't like garlic, but I love garlic. And it's so cheap, you guys. So now, again, we have the Tyson's chicken. And it's been sitting out for a while. This chicken is pre-cooked, so I can just go ahead and add it to my cutting board. We don't have to worry about the whole salmonella situation. So I'm just going to scrape our garlic to the side and make room. And it's already in strips, but we're just going to cut it down just a little bit so it's a little bit more fork friendly. So again, I'm just going to shake that out, and I'm going to move some of this stuff And it's just, again, it's just a rough chop for some of these really big pieces. Kind of want your food to be uniform, especially when you're eating it with a fork. And then once we chop the mushrooms again too, we're going to try to make everything in the same size. So you want that whole uniform mouthfeel when you're putting something in your mouth to chew. So I'm going to cut this up. And then once we get all of this cut up, I'm just going to search for a few really big pieces just to make sure we have some uniformity in our cuts. And you guys, as you can see, some of the spices, I get my spices from wherever I think it's a good deal. At the end of the day, I have really expensive spices, I have really cheap spices. Some of my spices come from Dollar Tree. Some of them come from Whole Foods. Some of them come from Kroger's. Wherever I find a deal, or just some of the common spices that I just feel like I've tried this brand or this store brand and it doesn't quite cut it. So yeah, I'll revert to another more popular brand. So I do have the olive oil sitting and it has preheated a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to be putting our garlic in our heated olive oil. We're just going to start a nice slow saute of the garlic just to kind of get the aromatics going. And that chicken is grilled flavored, and it's, like I said, it's already seasoned with salt and pepper. But by us sauteing our garlic, it's going to give that chicken, once we've added in, it's going to give it its own extra flavor. Every component of your recipes when you're cooking them should have their own flavor. Nothing should be contingent upon something else giving it flavor. So they can enhance each other, but they don't have to be bland and you're trying to take something bland and make it super delicious. So we're just going to go ahead and add our chicken so that it can now start to heat up along with the garlic as it sautés. And it ends up being way more chicken once I chopped it than I thought, but that's okay. And just so you know, guys, this is we're having the so-called winter storm that's supposed to be heading our way. So we're praying that no electricity goes out. Just the same, we're going to get a nice comfort meal going while we do have electricity. And we do have a gas grill out back, so if there's no electricity, we can still reheat this using the gas grill. So we're just going to saute this just a little bit, let it get warm all the way through, and it's actually on low because we don't want the garlic to burn. Oops, we got a rogue piece of parsley, but guess what? We're just going to leave it in there. So yeah, so as I was saying, so we want your garlic to saute nice and slow. So if you turn this on high, it will burn your garlic, and garlic tastes really bitter when it's burned. Plus the chicken's already done, so there's no need to super bless this on high to get the chicken going. So just let it go low and slow while you prepare your other ingredients. So I'm going to give that a quick stir. And for you guys that just really don't like the prepackaged chicken, how do you pre-season your chicken? We'll do another recipe where I do it completely from scratch one day. So we're going to add some ingredients again. You can see that $1.25 on our oregano and Italian seasoning that came from Dollar Tree. And again, like I said, I've bought McCormick, I've bought store brands, and I've even gone to the farmer's market and got freshly dried herbs. They are all good. And yes, sometimes they are more potent than others. But when it comes down to cooking items that are already somewhat semi-homemade, they're already pre-cooked, a little bit of seasoning goes a long way because these items already have their own seasoning. So we don't have to use our top-notch seasonings in this recipe. Now, if this was raw chicken that we're really trying to infuse the flavor, then I might just get my pantry and pull out my more flavorful herbs, but these will be just fine. And like I said, this is a spur of the moment. We're just trying to do some quick meals ahead of time before the storm hits. So we have what we need, and of course we have our non-perishable foods as well. But we're just trying to get a nice, comfy, warm, cozy meal while we prepare prepare. So we added our seasonings, the Italian seasoning and the oregano, and we gave it a stir. So now what we're going to do is just continue to let that heat for a little bit, and occasionally just give it a stir. And while that's just heating through, like I said, I put it on low. We're just going to let it simmer slowly. We're going to start working on chopping our mushrooms, because I like mushrooms and my husband likes mushrooms, but I do like them to cook to the point where they are a little tender. He likes them chunky and kind of firm. So I'm going to kind of win on this, which means we're going to add them into the sauteing chicken and garlic a little bit. So let's get to it. Let's flip them over just for easy cutting. Again, this is going to be a rough chop. Nothing fancy. That has to be super fine, because you do want that texture. And mushrooms have a tendency to kind of take on whatever they are cooked with, whatever they're seasoned with. So that's why a lot of vegans just really like mushrooms as their go-to, because they can turn it into whatever they want. It still has that firm texture a lot that kind of mimics protein, some type of meat. So if you want to try to kind of transfer over to veganism, I suggest mushrooms. I gave veganism a try a couple years ago, and it was pretty easy. I wasn't able to be consistent, but mushrooms were my go-to. They were some of the meals that if I just wanted a burger, I would get a big portobello mushroom and season it and grill it, and it did taste like a burger. And you don't have to be completely vegan. We're all trying to be healthy, so guess what? If you want to stay 1 or 2 days out of the week, it's going to be solely vegetables or vegan during those 2 days. Every little bit helps, but give yourself some grace. But right now, we're going to get back to this chicken. So just checking on my chicken and making sure my water is coming to a strong boil. So we're going to be putting the noodles in that pretty soon. So I have the mushrooms again at a firm, coarse chop. Make sure you do stir that garlic and chicken, because remember again, the garlic's on the bottom. If it burns, it's going to be bitter. Let's add our mushrooms. And you just have to be just mindful of whatever your preferences are. If you want to add more olive oil, you can add olive oil. Sometimes people want to make their jarred sauces a little bit more rich by adding a couple of taps of butter. We're not going to do that, but I do have some pre-ground fresh black pepper. My pepper meal is really tight for some reason, so again, I'm just having hand fatigue after typing all day and doing some crafts, so my husband pre-ground it in a little container for me. Now here's the salt. So I just wanted you to know I won't be adding salt to this. My husband already pre-poured it into the dish for me, but just look at the salt contents on this Alfredo sauce. So I am very salt sensitive, so I won't be adding it. The grilled chicken is already salty. There's salt in our pasta water, and so we're going to skip it. I'm going to add some garlic powder to my stir fry over here that I'm sauteing. There's fresh garlic in there, but when you're cooking, sometimes you just want to layer on flavors. Put a little bit now, a little bit in the middle, a little bit at the end. You'll be surprised at the difference it makes instead of just pouring everything in there at one time. Plus, if you start out slow, you can kind of see what your seasonings are tasting like as you go. So I poured this jar in here, and I'm going to set the jar aside with the lid, because we're going to go old school and we're going to stretch our sauce. We're going to be taking some of that pasta water and pouring it into the jar later on, so that we can get all the goodness out of that jar, because there's a lot of stuff to the sides of these jars. So I'm just going to set them to the side for now, and then I'm going to be scooping up a little bit of pasta water, probably about half a cup of pasta water, and put it into the jar. But I'm not going to seal the jar because it's a glass jar, so you don't want to seal up anything hot in a glass jar. So I'm just going to be putting water in there and just letting it kind of cool down. And then later on, once it's cooled down, I'll put the lid on, shake it, and get the remnants of the pasta sauce and pour it into the actual sauce. So we're going to do that later. Let's give this a stir to get everything incorporated. And as we do that, see how that is. So we will be needing to add some water, but we don't want to add just any type of water. We want to add some water that's going to continue to flavor the actual sauce, but also not be wasteful. So why not just take the pasta water and use that to get the rest of the sauce out of our jars when the time comes. So let's just kind of tidy up a little bit. So I was born and raised in the South, and you didn't go in grandma's kitchen unless you were willing to clean up as you cook. Sometimes, it can get a little hectic, but just to save yourself some time, continuously wipe down, and it just keeps everything kind of sanitary and doesn't get you overwhelmed when you're done with cooking and you have this huge mess to clean up. So I'll walk away for a moment. It's just me putting some items into the sink or the dishwasher. So our parsley we have, and we're going to continue to let that air dry for a little bit longer. We are going to be adding our fettuccine to the boiling water. I put the lid on a few moments ago. You weren't able to see that. It was on high for a minute, but it just wasn't boiling. So like I said, watch water doesn't boil, but guess what? Lidded water does. So put a lid on it and give it a few moments, and it will come to a boil, especially if you have it on medium to high. And again, so remember, pasta once cooked, it has a hard time taking on any type of flavor. So you don't want to completely cook it. That's one reason for cooking al dente. But I'm going to season my water. It's already seasoned with salt, but I'm also going to sprinkle just a little bit of garlic powder in there to give the pasta itself some flavor. Remember, we're talking about each element having its own seasoning. And then when they're all combined, they just make this great bold flavor. So I'm going to add this to the water. Again, that has been seasoned with plenty of salt and also with garlic powder. So that goes back to my reason for not adding any type of sea salt or table salt to this dish. There's already too many elements that have salt. Some people say, well, I'm going to add some more seasoning. Let your seasoning be the fresh herbs and the other spices, but just be mindful of the salt, you guys. So I'm just going to give that a quick toss. And if you notice, I did not put any oil in this water. I'm not sure where that whole notion of putting oil in pasta water. You don't have to do that. If your water is at a boil and you've salted it, if you give it that first initial stir, it will be fine. It will not stick. So just going to give it a couple of tosses every now and then I'm just going to kind of leave it alone until it's at the point where it comes back to the boil, and we'll deal with it then. Now notice I am not putting my pasta in a really tall pot with the colander drain already in it. You guys, I'm short, so when I'm cooking, I can't be dealing with a lot of really tall pots. It's dangerous for me. So I kind of keep my pots and pans low profile so that I can safely maneuver what I need to, and I can lift them as I need to do so, unless I'm making a really big soup. So you guys, I'm going to go back to the parsley, and again, it's been pre-washed. When you're washing your parsley, make sure you're running it in the cold water, just kind of soften it through. You can even let it soak for a little bit in a bowl of water, and you can see some of the debris that will be at the bottom. People think, oh, it's clean, just give it a quick spray off. No, sometimes these vegetables hold lots of tiny fine granules of sand and dirt, and if you don't wash it properly, best believe you will be tasting it. Everything's going to be a rough chop. Remember, we are not at a 5-star restaurant tonight. Yes, we have those capabilities, but as of today, I have 1,000 things to do to prep for the storm. So everything's a rough chop, and we're just going to go. You guys know how it is. If you had a long day or you have 50,000 things on your to-do list, and it's just the fam or just you, it really doesn't matter. No judgment here. So, we'll come back in another video and I can show you guys how fancy it can get. But this one, at this point, I'm hungry, he's hungry, and we have 1,000 things to do. So we're going to rough chop this stuff up. And so, again, I have been cooking ever since I was a little girl. So, some of my knife moves, I can be professional, but, Everybody does that little finger swipe. I don't recommend it, but you know, I have hands of steel. So we have that chopped up roughly. And as you can see, I have my jar of Alfredo sauce still sit back there. Remember, we're going to get back to that, doing it with some pasta water when the time comes. Once we take our Alfredo sauce and our parsley. Parsley is going to get cooked down into the sauce as well. And then we're going to save possibly a little bit for topping off our bowl. But right now we're just going to rough chop, and so we're going to scooch all this over, just make sense of things. And again, sometimes it's just what it is. So we're going to make sure we take the lid off, and I'm going to take about a half of a cup to a cup of pasta water that I'm just going to scoop up right off of the pasta. Now that it's come to a boil, and I'm going to pour it in. And remember, for safety purposes, please do not put the lid on this jar. Just let it sit to the side for a few moments, a few minutes, and just let it calm down to room temperature, at least below boiling. And then once our sauce really starts to thicken up and it's cooled down, we can put the lids on it and shake it and get all those delicious remnants out of the inside of the jar and add it to the sauce. But right now, we just poured it in there and set it aside for a few minutes. Okay, so remember, you're going to season to your liking. Just add a little bit more pepper and another little dash of oregano and Italian seasoning. Just kind of put some in my hand. Just going to sprinkle that in there. I'm just kind of looking at the consistency of the sauce. So just been waiting on those jars to cool down a little bit before we add in the rest of that. So just kind of keeping my eye on that. As soon as I see that that jar isn't steaming anymore, and it's come down to temperature, I'm going to add the lid, shake it up, and just pour the rest of the sauce into our pot. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to add the lid. See, now it cleaned out the jar really well. And don't panic if you think, okay, I now just made my sauce really watery. It's still going to continue to cook down, and we're going to be adding some cheeses. We're going to be adding some mozzarella and some Parmesan cheese. So it's going to help again. That's going to be adding some more sodium, but it's also going to give a nice flavor profile. So again, people really don't understand. And I know I'm on this health kick now about this salt, but people, you have to really understand where all this sodium is coming from. People say, well, I don't use salt. There's so much salt in pre-packaged foods. If you're going to use them, please be mindful of not adding additional salt to your food, especially if you're salt sensitive. So that was our second jar of the jar washing, the jar rinsing of the sauce. We added that, and again, it looks a little watery. It thinned out our sauce a little bit, but you can see it's quickly coming back to a simmer. And I'm just going to stir it up. So I do find myself a lot, because I am salt sensitive, I find myself using a lot of fresh herbs, like I said before, but I love black pepper. Black pepper, I'm now starting to really get into using white pepper, especially because food sometimes is visual. So sometimes I don't really want to see the pepper. I feel like it kind of ruins the look of my food. So using white pepper. If you've ever used white pepper before, comment below, kind of let me know, what your take on that is. And what are some alternatives that you use, or that you've learned about the extra sodium that's in all the prepackaged foods. That's why they tell us to kind of be mindful of using everything in moderation. And just add it to fresh parsley. That's gonna add a really big flavor profile to the Alfredo, you guys. It's gonna make it nice and herby and fresh and bright tasting. It's not gonna be as as savory. I guess that's not the right word, but You know what I'm trying to say. It's just going to be really, really bright and fresh tasting. And someone would think, hey, she made this from scratch with cream, with butter, with all that Parmesan. It's going to just give that full flavor of made from scratch. So that's how you get your quick meals tasting like from scratch. Some elements need to truly be fresh. Just be mindful of what those are, and herbs are the way to go to get that effect. So kind of move some of our stuff aside. Again, apologize quickly here, and even now, I've been out in the air trying to gather emergency supplies, and my voice is seeming to succumb to the actual inclement weather. So we're going to talk through this as much as we can. Let's give it a stir. This is looking really good, you guys. Wish you could smell it, just like they used to say. I know it's kind of cliche, but this smells so good. It smells so herby, so garlicky. I'm ready to eat. And when you make your chicken Alfredo, sometimes we accompany it with some garlic bread. Sometimes we'll have broccoli on the side. What do you normally use? But today we are going to just be indulgent in just the pasta. We're going to wash our bread because, again, I bought a gazillion loaves of bread in preparation for the storm. So I really don't want to eat the bread right now because I might be forced to eat too much bread in the next coming days. So we're just going to have the pasta for right now. I'm going to give it another quick stir. And see how I was speaking about the mushrooms? This one is a nice big chunk. It is going to be flavorful, but it's still going to give me that bite, kind of like it's another piece of chicken. It even looks like a piece of chicken. We're going to stir that up. And so over on my other side, I'm just going to kind of stir up my pasta a little bit because we're going to be transferring that pasta that's come to a boil. Remember, we don't want to overcook the pasta. We want to cook it to al dente. Some people say they don't like the chewy pasta. I don't quite like chewy pasta either, but I have learned that if you add the pasta to the sauce before it's completely done, it takes on the flavor of the sauce, and the sauce sticks better to the actual pasta. So if the pasta is already completely done, when you add it to the sauce sometimes doesn't adhere to the pasta. And the pasta itself just doesn't taste like anything unless it has some sauce on it. So, again, what are your thoughts? I mean, I've watched a gazillion cooking shows on Food Network, and, you always say, is that really that serious? But over the years, I have learned, yes, it is. There is a big difference in cooking the life out of your pasta and thinking it's going to taste like something. Some things we've done over the years just out of learned behaviors. But hey, I challenge you to experiment, try new techniques, whatever works for you. Even the whole, washing your chicken controversy before you cook it. I've dealt a lot in the health industry, and I'm just gonna say we'll save that for another day. And so just think about that. So when that challenge comes, we'll have that debate about washing your raw chicken before you cook it. So here we are. I am adding a little bit of the cheese we have. And again, because I'm cooking for two and we have two different dietary concerns, him, no concerns at all. So I'm going to go kind of light on the cheese, even though he likes it. But I'm going to use some cheese to kind of help flavor the sauce and thicken it back up a little bit. But I am using it in moderation, and you'll more than likely get a little extra sprinkle of cheese on top. So add it mozzarella, could add just a little bit of Parmesan cheese because it too can be very salty. So you see how all these different ingredients can add up to a really salty dish. And sometimes people equate flavor with saltiness. Saltiness isn't necessarily flavor to me. It's just salty. It just tastes like something salty. Salt does scientifically bring out some of the natural flavors of ingredients, but too much of salt is just salty flavor. So we don't want to kill our fresh parsley flavor. We don't want to kill the grilled flavor of the chicken and the actual Alfredo sauce. We just want to enhance it. So adding all these things with salt in them, you just have to really be mindful, pre-think it through. So we're adding our al dente fettuccine noodles in here. They are al dente. It's just a little bit of chew to them still. And what they're going to do is they're going to continue to cook in the sauce for a few minutes. And it doesn't take long. The sauce is hot. The noodles are still cooking. And that's just my method. So I'm going to say, hey, go shock the pasta in cold water and then bring it back to the sauce. Well, it just depends on what you prefer. If you want your noodles to stay in that state of al dente. These are really al dente, so I want them to cook a little bit more tender. So that's why I'm adding them straight from the hot boiling water, straight to the pasta. So those last few minutes of cooking can get some flavor in them. If this was just going to be like a butter sauce or something like that, and I'm just going to toss it around, yes, I would have shocked it in a cold ice bath or just rinsed it with cold water. But it's not. So, and remember, we're on a time crunch. We're trying to beat Fern out there, causing havoc across the U.S. It's cold outside. So I'm adding all of the pasta. And I'm going to give it a stir in a moment once I finish scooping out the remainder of my noodles in the bottom of the pot. That's what I'm doing. So, you guys, we have this thing where we're making certain pasta like this, and hey, I'm making chicken Alfredo, and it's just common knowledge that you will use fettuccine noodles. Well, honestly, you can use any pasta shape you want. Sometimes I've used penne pasta in this because that was all I had in the pantry, and I had a taste for Alfredo. It wasn't necessarily the texture of the fettuccine noodles I was looking for. It was the flavor of the sauce and the chicken. So I just went with what I had. Again, sometimes we just don't have to be that specific. It's not that serious sometimes. Just use what you have. Anytime you have something in your pantry, use it. If you don't use it and it expires, you're just wasting money. So sometimes that's what I do. I search my pantry. What's nearing an expiration date? That's what I'm going to be incorporating so that it doesn't go to waste. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care, what your socioeconomic status is. Wasteful is wasteful. And, at the end of the day, I can put my money to so many other more beneficial things. What does your retirement plan look like? Or are you over here buying this $6 box of pasta? So 99 cents will do. So, it looks beautiful. Everything is coming to a simmer again, and you guys weren't able to hear that, but it was a slight pause because somebody walked in and asked me, "Are we having broccoli with it?" Nope, we're not. So, gonna give it another stir. But that does sound good right about now. But again, so we're gonna stir it around and give it a little bit of time, just to kind of continue to cook the noodles through. They'll absorb the last minute flavor. Isn't it pretty? And that parsley, that little green burst of color just really does something. That bright founder seed isn't just for flavor, but it makes it visually appealing as well. And we eat with our eyes first. So that's why I say you have to sometimes cook to your liking. If you don't like thick sauce and you want it to stay thin, let it stay thin. I mean, let's just be happy here. It's not that big of a deal. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you comfortable. What gives you comfort and joy. So I have my bowl over here. We're going to be getting ready to plate this in a few minutes. Again, we're going to be cleaning up just a little bit. Stuff is starting to splatter everywhere. So I'm going to be turning the heat down in a few moments. Just go ahead and turning it off. And it can still continue to simmer when it's off because it's still hot. Look at this gooiness, you guys. So I'm going to be putting this in the bowl. And I'm trying to do it as best I can without making a mess. This looks so good. And again, I wish you guys could smell it. And I'll get all that in there for you. will still continue to cook down a little bit. So just remember, once I get it plated, I'm going to remove it from that particular burner just so it doesn't continue to cook all the way down, because the more it cooks, the longer it sits, those noodles are going to absorb a lot of that moisture and they're going to thicken it up. So now we're just going to add a little fresh pepper to the top. And we're going to add, I believe I had some parsley somewhere, just clean it up. But it looks so good. I was about to take a bite, but then I realized I didn't put the parsley on it yet. And then this wasn't my bowl. I was making it for him. So we're going to put a little bit of extra mozzarella on there. And sorry, but I opted not to give him any more Parmesan cheese. But look at that. That looks so good and creamy. So again, just be mindful, if you like yours creamy, remember to take it off of the heat sooner, because the longer it sits, the noodles are going to absorb more of the moisture and it's going to make it a thicker sauce. So just play around with it. Food should be fun. Food should be